I want to demonstrate a cool technique that you may want to learn and add to your arsenal of guitar techniques. This one, I've showed it to guitar players in the past, and a lot of them were completely baffled by it because it's not something that a lot of guitar players use, so it doesn't come up very frequently. I call the technique a ghost hammer-on. And what I mean by that is you're hammering on a note, you're hammering a note onto a string that you did not pick. So typically when you do hammer-ons and pull-offs, like that one from Am I Evil, it kind of all occurs on one string, or maybe you'll switch strings, but all of your picking and your hammer-ons are occurring on the same string. With this technique, you're using multiple strings. Sometimes you pick the string and sometimes you don't. So you basically just are hammering on sometimes on a string that you haven't picked. It's not something that comes up very often or that a lot of guitar players use. And usually when I show this technique to guitar players, it's just completely foreign to them. But it is a cool technique, and if you watch this video to the end, you'll see how versatile it can be and how it can help you to create new, different riffs to take you kind of in different directions and different levels than you've been. So the first one, I'm going to show you the first riff. It's kind of a hard riff to classify, but it's sort of like a rock riff, I guess. At the beginning of this riff, every sixth note is going to be a ghost hammer-on. So it's going to be a note that's hammered on a string that I did not pick. And then as I go through the intro or past the intro into the main riff, it begins, in most segments of it, every third note is a ghost hammer-on. And I'll slow this down after so you can see a little better what I'm doing. But this is it. So I'll slow that down for you, and you're going to see that in the beginning, every sixth note is going to be a ghost hammer-on. It's going to be a note hammered onto a string that I did not pick, and then the rest of the riff, every third note in most of the segments is a ghost hammer-on. The next riff that I want to show you is from a song called The Sacrifice, and this is a very metal riff, very fun to play. It's quick and fast, and it uses that ghost hammer-on, and without that ghost hammer-on, there's no way I would be able to hit all the notes that I'm playing. It just wouldn't be possible to do it while picking every single note. You have to be able to hammer on that string that you do not pick. So the riff goes like this. All right, so the ghost hammer-on that occurs in that riff, there's only one. But it happens, it occurs on the E string. It's the only note that's fretted on the E string. Everything else is an open, muted E. I'll slow it down for you so you can see what I'm doing on that riff. that one is a little trickier. That one's a little trickier riff to play. And if you don't have this technique and it throws you off a little bit, you can break it down to just the ghost hammer-on part of that section of the riff. Break it down to just that and repeat that over and over and over until you get the technique, and then you can kind of build the rest of the riff around it. So the technique, or the part where the technique occurs, is that part of the riff. So you can just repeat the hammer-on part until it gets smooth, and then be able to play the entire riff. There's one other riff that I'd like to use to demonstrate this technique. This one's a really tricky one too. It's very fast, lots of crazy hammer-ons and pull-offs going on. But throughout the playing of this, there's a few ghost hammer-ons. I think it only occurs, let's see. So in each sequence of the riff, the ghost hammer-on only occurs twice. So it's going to be a little difficult to probably hear when I play it fast, but I will slow it down for you. As I play this slow, I a lot of times will accidentally pick the string, the note that I'm intending to use as a ghost hammer-on. When you play slowly, you have time to hit that note, but when it's played fast, you don't. You really are stuck with using that ghost hammer-on technique. So I'm going to try not to play it accidentally, but you may see me actually pick one of those ghost hammer-on notes. So have some fun with ghost hammer-ons. If you think it's cool, leave a comment. Let people know that if you like it, and hopefully it will expand what you can play on your guitar and give you some new avenues to travel. Have fun.